0, 1.
Let's get started.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you all my exact S&P 500 game plan for tomorrow's market session on October the 22nd, okay? So let's just get straight into it so you can know how you can make some cash. So I guess really briefly, check the meta video I just dropped so you can understand how to make some cash if you like meta. But we do need to talk about the SPY right now. Sorry about that. Let me get the chart up. All right, so in looking at this, the major concept I want you all to be aware of is the fact that it is sloppy, yes, and I will clean it up, but the central pivot right here is the range, okay? Now, from this range, we have broken out, and that's basically the major concept you need to be aware of. At this point, we have broken out. We're looking to retest this high right here, and we have yet to get to that point, okay? So let me get rid of everything really quickly so we can kind of dive deep into this a little bit more professionally, all right? So from this situation of strength, let me zoom in right here. What I'm essentially looking for is for us to get underneath some of these pivots right in here, okay? We get underneath this pivot in a situation in which we kind of pull back like so. We can then now look for buying opportunities off of this low, looking to basically look to rotate now back up to this prior high. Now, if we use this prior top over here just to kind of have us a gauge, you can see that's going to line up pretty decently well for the next move, and the major resistance at 673 or 674, okay? So just be aware that that's like the general concept. Anything after that is a deviation from it. And those deviations can come in different forms, so let's talk about one of those deviations. So in this instance, we are expecting the market to pull itself back up. However, if you do notice that the market rejects really hard after trying to find support right around this zone between 670 and let's just say 669, then the market now has shifted, okay? The market has changed characteristics. So at this point, we're now looking to buy pullbacks for the return back down and continuation for the bear market, but just in the shorter term, okay? So just be aware that those are kind of like the two major key concepts, okay? Now, once we get down to that level, it's a little bit less, we have to talk about it a little bit more because we have a couple levels of support, but there's no, those are the most two preferred ways to look at the market. Now, another way to encapsulate everything so you can kind of understand the concept a little bit, if we find a channel like so, roughly speaking, okay, and draw it down here just like so, you can see we have a pretty nice bull channel. Now, this bull channel is very important because it symbolizes the breakout and its strength going higher, okay? So from this perspective, looking at it, we are breaking out, we're grinding up against this level, and we are now looking to find two levels of support, either this base level support all the way down here, which is why I said once we make that like continuation pattern going lower, we do have to be aware that there is major levels of support because we could end up bouncing off that level of support, essentially going all the way back up to the prior high / top end of this channel, okay? Secondarily, the midpoint, which is this white dashed line that's cutting through the center that is now blue, is another major level of support, okay? And we have to be aware that those are two key anchors for the bullish market and its continuation going higher, which is basically why if we don't find support at this midpoint, we're probably going to actually find some support down here, okay? So we do need to keep it a close eye and in both of these levels because that's the major levels of buyers are trying to rotate the market back to the upside. And then other than that, it's pretty much all just fluff. You know, if we kind of just consolidate here for a bit, that doesn't really give us anything. We want us to still break down at some point and then look for a rise back to the upside. So even if we kind of just nest where we are in the market overnight, I would still look for that breakdown and then eventually a continuation going higher, okay? Now, alternatively, if we do break going up higher first, then we would still be expecting some sort of correction, okay? We're either going to be looking for, again, that same three-legged pullback, okay? We have different levels of support we'll have to kind of figure out, but it's the same general concept. Go back to the upside. Or, just like we said before, we could find some consolidation as we go up higher, and then we're still looking to buy the dip, basically, okay? So just be aware that if it does go up higher, we will have to shift things a little bit, but that's why we have the live stream every day. So if you are a little bit weary of what's going to happen if we open the market session higher, then feel free to join me at 9:30, in which you'll get a...
I know it's hard to trust so-called gurus. That's why I live stream my trades every single day, Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30 a.m. The live stream isn't for you to copy my trades, it's to show proof and credibility that my strategy works. The stream is delayed and muted to protect my edge. But if you want to see everything unmuted and in real time, check out the Discord and Patreon links below. You'll get exclusive perks and the opportunity to learn the system for yourself, so you don't miss great opportunities just like this one.
All right, everyone. So this is going to be one of the trades of the week, and ultimately you can see that we have entered in just above this swing high. Now, the general principle of this is that the lines above represent different levels of a range, and we're essentially looking to rotate now back up through that range. Now, using a volatility-based stop loss, that basically dictates the stop loss and first target based on the day's volatility, so it's a little bit different every single day, has determined where our stop loss is as well as our first target. Now, using some other methods, that's how we got the above levels. And at this point, because we've already have everything kind of situated, we just need to sit back and wait and let time play itself out. Now, just be aware that there usually is a bit of turbulence, and this is a great example of that. And again, once everything is kind of set in stone, our main job is to let things run its course, okay? So as I just progress in the time lapse here a bit, you can see that we did end up pushing up after that major pullback. And with a little bit of help, as you can see, we soon ended up getting our first target. Now, at this particular point, we kind of just let price action do its thing, not reaching the midpoint of this range, which is our secondary target for right now, okay? But as you can see, after we did get that second target, I let price action just kind of progress on its own for a bit. But once we start getting too high, I do adjust my stop loss accordingly, okay? Now, in this particular situation, you will start to see me adjust the stop loss based on the fact that we are relatively close to the third target, and we don't want to give away too much of our gains, okay? So with our, I don't know if it's that big of a deal to tell you all, but we do use a particular system in trailing our stops, in which you will learn as a member of the Discord/Patreon, okay? This is just one of many great examples that you'll be able to have every single week as a member. So if you don't want to miss trades just like this, then look down below.